Welcome to Swank and Mentz Off the Fence, where Mr. Mentz and Mrs. Swank answer questions related to whatever topics you provide.
If you are a student here at GCHS, listen up.
Nothing we say here is the express opinion or view of Greensburg Community Schools. But if you have a question burning a hole through your brain, email us.
Who knows, your question might inspire us. Now let's get on with the show. All right, this is our, last episode of the year.
For this year, yeah.
For this year.
We're going to hit it pretty heavy next year, though.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yeah, I think so. We didn't get a lot of questions in, but I think there was some interest in, there was just kind of general interest in what we were doing. And I know from the staff, there was some teachers playing our show in their classroom. That was pretty cool to hear. But I wanted to finish out, and we talked about it yesterday with just how can we maybe just help these guys, our listeners, the students, just kind of grind it out to the end of the year. Like what kind of motivation can we give them, or what kind of encouragement can we give them to just, transition out of this school year and into the summer and for these seniors, on with life.
Yeah, let's do it.
We always tend to go different routes, and the way that that I was taking this was, just making sure that students just didn't get careless in the last couple of weeks. But then it also kind of took me down this path of just this kind of reckless society that we're living in right now. And just like, I just want our students to understand that they are replacing us. This is where my whole brain was kind of wrapping around. And I know it's going to be like an old fogey kind of conversation, but just the idea that, our generation is halfway through towards retirement, or in the trades specifically, all of the tradesmen are dying out, like not dying out, but retiring. The average age of a carpenter is 60 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's absurd, really. And there's just no one coming into the trades after them. So we're going to run into this just giant problem in our culture where we just don't have anyone doing anything.
Oh, we're already there, aren't we?
Yeah, we're there. We're on the cusp of just being just a disaster.
Yeah, I remember when I started teaching, it was everybody goes to college. Like everybody needs to go to college.
Right.
And I wonder if that isn't playing out, the detriment of that isn't playing out right now. But, when I hear a kid, I just told a kid the other day, he was going to Lincoln Tech. And I didn't know. There's some kids I know are going to Lincoln Tech, and he wants to work on engines and so forth. And he was like, that's what I want to do. And I said, you're going to graduate and probably make more money than I do right now. I don't know if kids today know that trade schools, you're going to make very good money.
Yeah, it's like the golden ticket.
Yeah. We can't call a plumber. I can't find a plumber. We've tried to call plumbers in Columbus for, I don't know, we haven't made a serious effort at doing it, but we have something that we could really use a plumber at the house for, and either nobody will call us back, and we have had a plumber out there a couple times to the house, and the same guy. Like, It's not that he's a bad guy. I think he's just overrun.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in the trades profession, you're really seeing the detriment play out of everybody goes to college.
Right. I think it's just, it doesn't even have to do, it's not even a trades conversation, although that's a big one. Like this guy that I listened to, a podcast and a book called Durable Trades. Like throughout history, there's always just been, these like a carpenter or a farmer. It's just durable trades. Like they've stood the test of time. Like even if our economy just crashed tomorrow, we would still be in need of these different trades. And I think that that's kind of where we're headed toward in our country. Like there's comfort in just going to work for like corporate America right now, but I feel like that's not, that's maybe a short-term thing for our country. And I hate to say that. I'm a super patriotic dude, but our country is heading in the wrong direction right now economically. A lot of people are saying that we're already in the can. And I think we just need to be working towards gearing up for just kind of some hardship. And if you are working, if you're trying to go to corporate America, I think that there's probably a good chance that at some point in your career, you're going to face, being terminated, and you're not going to know what to do. You're not going to have the skills to provide for your family. And I just think that we need to start preparing for that.
Yeah, I can't help but think of that as like I'm trying to be more optimistic than that, but at the same time, isn't the role of adulthood to be, and I mean, I know we're talking about kids who are on the cusp of that, but isn't the role of adulthood to be as versatile as you can so that, and I think this is basically playing into your hand there, so that when you face hardships, you can overcome them for your family, for yourself, for your culture, your whatever. And I guess maybe the older I get, the more I get a little myopic about that in terms of, is it really for your culture, for your group? I don't know. But I think right now the little alarm bells are going off in my head that I'm like, we're talking over the kids. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, why are they talking about the serious stuff? We just want to know how to get through the quarter or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I get it.
I think what I was really getting at was like, these students need to understand the opportunity that's ahead of them. And it's the same thing that happened during COVID. Like everyone kind of took a step back and then put on these woe is me shoes. Like, oh man, I'm such a victim of everything that's going on right now. When in reality, it would be so easy just to try a little bit harder and just outpace everyone.
Yep.
Like these kids have such an opportunity to just step up and go be an entrepreneur. Like you could go start a business right now. I guarantee you, it's straight out of high school and make $100,000 a year going and freaking, I don't know, trimming hedges and pressure washing sidewalks. Like something as easy as that is such a necessity right now.
They have to have the hustle though.
Yeah.
Like the hustle is what's missing.
Right.
And what I see, and I'm, our little corner of the world, and I don't mean Greensburg. I just mean our little corner of the world, like our 150 kids.
Okay.
And I'm not dogging all of those kids, but what I think that what's missing, and there's a disconnect, is the hustle, the drive. I think the drive is different now. Like I think that there's some affect that has happened to perspective of the next generation.
Yeah.
Where, I do feel sometimes when I'm talking to students that they look at me like you're just old. Like you just don't understand what it's like to be us. I think that is generationally normal. To feel that, to look at the one who's above you. I think maybe the difference is, and again, this could be that very thing in effect, but I think the difference is there's like almost an immediate disregard that comes toward the conversation of like, well, you're just old, and they don't say that to me, but you can almost see it in their eyes. Like you just don't understand. But I think what you're saying, if I'm understanding, is like, if you would just take the opportunity to find the grit, to find the determination to go do whatever it is your passion is, or go find it. There's not a lot of drive out there. And if you can find it, you can be successful.
Yeah. Immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
Or with some, like a little bit of work.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, and I think there's a lot of them that are just waiting for that, overnight success, and that's not going to happen. No. I don't think. I mean, the chances are very slim that somebody's just going to become an overnight success. But that's what they're seeing. That's what they're consuming. Is that everyone that they're looking at is successful because they're connected to their phones. And I'm not going to go there. But I mean, if you actually looked around our community and you saw the need for, you could literally go out and start a business doing whatever you wanted, whatever you're passionate about right now, and there is a need for it.
And I will say this, in that same vein, people will pay very well for somebody who will work hard at doing whatever skill. I think people are paying now better than they ever have.
Oh yeah.
For services and for a skilled, you fill in the blank, like a pressure washer, let's just say. A kid goes and buys a $400 pressure washer, saves some money, I don't know, washes some cars or does whatever. And I mean, my students talk about having thousands of dollars. Like I hear them in class, oh, I got $2,000 for this, or they're making pretty good money at their jobs. Let's say they go buy a $400 or $500 pressure washer and start a pressure washing company. They bust tail, they like get some leads. I can't imagine that they wouldn't make great money, because I think people are willing to pay if you do a good job and you respect people's property and you bust your butt and showing up on time is huge. If you make an appointment with somebody and they show up and they do what you ask them to do, I think people are paying well. Yeah.
I had a contractor today call me about a student, see if he was worth the salt. And And I started talking about it. He was like, I don't need to know any of those details. All I need to know is, does he show up to school and is he a respectful kid?
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to start him off at like $15 an hour to just, clean up a job site and maybe cut some boards.
Mm-hmm.
So the opportunities are out there. I think what we're talking about, though, does take some determination and grit, more so than just being comfortable going to work for a retailer, going to work for Walmart or something like that. But you're going to build a lot more character that way, and there's a lot more longevity to it. Like I said, working for a corporation is pretty short term. There's always a chance that they're going to terminate you, and then you got to figure out what the next step is. But the next couple of weeks go, as far as the end of this semester goes, I think people just need to just put their heads down and grind, and stay out of trouble. Just make sure that you're showing up on time, just putting in the work just to finish out the semester. I was looking at. I hope this kid's listening too. I was talking to a kid yesterday who I don't even know what his GPA is overall. His cumulative percentage points for all of his classes, I don't even think they added up to 100.
So basically what you're saying is he had like a 20 in math and
Correct.
I'm just making this up, but like a 30
exactly.
in English, and all of it together wasn't 100.
Yeah. He's a smart kid.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't care really about school, or maybe he just hasn't had the right people in front of him to encourage him. But I was talking, he's almost passing my class. I was like, dude, just pass my class. That's all I'm asking. Just pass my class. And I think people need to just break it down. Like, even though for those people, like this student individually, like if you can just break it down and just, grind out your ones and twos or whatever it is, whatever you can do, just make it work. And like, there's so much that could be said if he passes construction class. I hated high school. I sucked at high school. We've talked about this before on the podcast, but it's just so important for him. He could have a very bright future in construction, even if he sucks at science class and math class and whatever, English class. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I tell my own students, I don't mind if you don't like it at all. Like, it doesn't bother me a bit. I appreciate knowing that. But is he good at construction?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got talent. Yeah.
Yeah. He's actually a pretty bright kid.
Part of the thing too, and I think some kids would appreciate us commenting, at least acknowledging this, is home lives are, it's a piece of the puzzle that is gigantic. It's significant. And when your home life is, we'll just call it difficult, you have to, more so than the kid who doesn't have a difficult home life, you have to figure out a way to care to get out of that situation, so that, I get that math or English or construction or science doesn't matter when there are things going on in your environment that are just almost intolerable,
right,
or intolerable, and you are forced to live in situations that are a struggle just to get through and get to school, or live through, literally. Getting the credential that says you graduated from high school is important so that you can escape the situation.
Right, break the chain.
Yeah, either go into the military or get a job and get an apartment. That's the other positive of jobs paying well right now. And because if you can't show that you have a diploma, or you can't show that you have a work ethic, or you can't have your future employer call your construction teacher and say, well, is he respectful, and does he at least show up? Those are the things that you have in your control as a kid,
right?
When your world might be out of control. And it's easy to sit behind the microphone and say, well, you just need to put your energy into this when your energy is being zapped by situations.
Yeah.
But it's something that, I don't know, the kids need to hear that a year in their lives feels like forever, and when stuff is going on that's difficult to deal with, it can feel like a whole lot longer than that. But if getting out of that is important, then this has to be important.
Right. Yeah, where else can you go for free and get a certification? Like, you get a construction certification, all you got to do is pass a written exam at the end of your 3 years of construction. Right? I know there's so many dual credit opportunities, and just opportunities to get certified in different things. Welding, one of them back there, that you just don't get that. You go to the real world, you're in a hurry to go be an adult.
Yes.
You got to start paying for stuff then.
Yep.
Doesn't come free then. So I think that just grinding out these last couple of weeks and then transitioning into summertime, man, that's a huge question mark for a lot of kids. I know when we come back in the fall and I start asking them what they did, and they're just like, nothing. I'm like, 2 months? You did nothing for 2 months? What do you mean? You didn't like get a job? You didn't play sports? You just played video games until 4 a.m. every single day? Let's break that cycle.
There's actually a lot of kids that do that. I don't know what a lot really means, but that is the feedback of many kids.
Right. And then just again, like I tried to tell my students every time when we come back, like if you would just try a little bit harder to break that cycle, like just the same conversation we had, like everyone that you know is doing that. If you would just stop doing that, you would be above, you would be more employable than those kids in an instant.
That kind of feeds into something I was thinking about when I was thinking about the question is sometimes the doing is overwhelming, I think, to kids that have habits that are maybe not the best. But I've really become in the last few years a believer in, I think I talked about this in the last episode or maybe the episode before that. I've become a big believer in breaking down goals into smaller, manageable chunks. So if you're up till 4 a.m. playing video games every night, literally every night over the summer, try being productive for one of those nights.
Yeah.
Change 7 into 5. And if your room is totally a mess and it's just a nightmare, and you are old enough to be responsible and nobody makes you do your laundry or clean, you don't know how, there's YouTube videos. Let's face it, we live in, you got this phone in your pocket, do it. Like somebody will teach you how to do the thing on YouTube if you just search it. Every time. Or you can ask an adult that won't make fun of you for saying, what do you mean you don't know how to do laundry or whatever, right? Maybe you don't clean your whole room, but clean a corner. Look at that success. And then the next day, maybe you clean another 3 feet. It's sometimes just seeing that success in the compartmentalization of the changes. You can make drastic changes over a few months.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just need to hear, okay, maybe you don't do something drastic, but don't do nothing. Doing nothing about something you want to change is ludicrous.
Yeah.
And then complaining about it is like, just shut your mouth. Like if you're doing nothing to change what you want to change and then you're complaining that you haven't changed, I don't understand that. I guess I would say I'm intolerant to that because at least if you're trying to change and you're making small headway, if that's what you can do. And if you can do more, do more. If you want to do more, do more. But doing nothing isn't. Heading into the summer to just be completely unproductive. There is beauty in being unproductive sometimes.
Rest.
Yes, it's important. But constant rest.
Right.
There's a lot of danger in that.
Yeah, there's danger in comfort.
As well, you know what? I do say fairly regularly, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. And I don't mean you should be uncomfortable all the time. I just mean running from discomfort is not a good strategy.
Right.
Especially when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Think of all the times if you have adults in your life that are making you uncomfortable in the best ways, which I mean, how are you going to get out of that one? Not here, do it this way.
Right. Like
my parents were big on, you got yourself in a pickle there, didn't you? And then what are you going to do? And then it made me tell them. And they would either say, that's a stupid idea, try again. Or they would go, okay, well, I don't know if that's going to work, but go do it. And then we'll talk again,
Yeah.
But I can't imagine having adults in your world that just fix all of your problems all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or just don't.
Or just neglect.
Yeah, right.
Which would be just maybe worse.
Yeah, I think that's probably more common. I'm sure that it's probably both, like the both extremes, and that's probably the majority is like there's either the parents that don't or the parents that are hoverers and that's all that they do and they don't allow their children to grow. Yeah.
And let's give props to the ones in the middle.
Yeah, okay.
Because there are some.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to be that parent.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to not just correct people and just let people fail.
It's faster. It's easier.
Yeah, that's true. For the sake of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mentz, we've been talking for 22 minutes already.
We're over our 20-minute mark.
We were trying to keep it to 20 minutes. We haven't even done anything beyond. We're kind of failures at the whole timing thing.
Yeah, we suck at that.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't win any awards.
I don't know if we. No, we're definitely not. Oh, we did actually win some awards, but we won't talk about those.
Oh yeah, we did.
I didn't get the list of what are they called? Senior.
It's like teacher superlatives, I think.
I don't think we had that when we were in high school.
What were we? Are we not supposed to talk about it?
I don't know. I didn't. I know we got our picture taken.
Most likely to, or most wanted to get stranded on an island with, or something like that.
That was weird that
Or,
they
but
asked that
would
question.
survive on an island with these two teachers or something.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. I don't know. The way that it was presented to me, it sounded kind of odd. You know, I thought, I hope that they want to be stranded on an island with me because of my ingenuity, you know?
Yeah.
Like they think of me like MacGyver, like I could get out.
No, I think that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought, and not for me, for you. Like I thought, oh, the construction teacher and like, you know, like marine and construction teacher and knows how to build a hut or whatever.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Well, the better question is why me? But at the same time, not better in terms of like, oh yeah, like obviously I was the one. I have no idea. Maybe because I could be the storyteller and I'm strong enough to heave some lumber around or something. Like
That's something. You know, there was a group of ladies standing there yesterday when Mr. Dixon came up to the group and he only spoke to you. So that says something, right?
Oh, when there was the let's call it I was going to say the same thing. There was an altercation going on down the ramp, and there was a group of us, and he's like, "Swank, you need to go down there."
Yeah, it says something.
Turns out there was an altercation going on. Took care of business. That's how I roll. Oh, I have a fun fact for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Forgot about that part.
Remember the last podcast, and you talked about the billion birds that die every year?
Yeah. Did you fact check me on that?
I did.
Is it a billion?
Actually, well, it's like there's an estimate. The Goog told me that it was like, yes, it could be up to 1 billion, but there's like I can't remember the number. It was like 300 and something. Could be 360 million birds or up to 1 billion birds. So
that's a huge chain. Like
well,
a huge
I started reading about it. Not that anybody probably cares, but I wanted to know how many birds are there in the world? And you notice when I say birds, it's like very
You're right.
intense. Right now, alive. This is a crazy, because I got the whole swing. Like, it could be this number, it could be this number, and it's wildly wide.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this because it just using deductive reasoning, if 1 billion birds died potentially in a year,
yes,
and I think I've seen like 4 dead birds in my life, you know, and I probably see at least 50 birds a day.
Yeah.
I'm going like 100 billion.
That's a good guess. That falls within the range.
Sweet.
But the range is crazy. Also, I have a little bonus fact before I give you the number. 37% of birds that are actually hatched every year survive.
Only
37%.
Man.
Yeah. Not eggs, but also I'm not really sure about I just grabbed that off the Goog. I don't know. Anyway, so how many birds are alive right now? 50 billion on the low side to 430 billion.
I was right in there.
Yeah, you were.
That's a lot of birds.
Yeah, but if 1 billion die every year, that's it, just in skyscrapers. Imagine how many there would be if there weren't skyscrapers. Or I don't even think, I just made that up, skyscrapers. It's outside my classroom. I have all kinds of bird face goo.
Yeah.
From when they try to fly into my window. And my window's at ground level. It's like not uncommon to hear clunk.
Yeah.
And then I look out and they're laying on the ground and then I'm like, oh, little bird, I hope you wake up. And usually they do and they fly away like within 2 minutes or so. But that was my fact for today. And we don't even have time for tears.
Yeah, no, we don't.
We were going to do favorite movies.
Yeah.
We should just tease that out for next season.
Yeah.
Maybe do you have one like off the top
Maybe
of
I'll
your
watch
head?
one over. I haven't watched movies in a long time. I just kind of got away from watching movies.
Just give me like really quick, not necessarily your top, but like give me couple really good movies.
Tombstone.
Give me one more. I like Tombstone too. I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah, you go. And I'll think of another.
Okay. I like Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. I'm an old movie kind of person.
When was that filmed? Like in the 60s or something?
61 or 2.
I can't. No student has seen that though.
Yeah, I know. They should go watch it.
Okay. Where you would have to like rent that from the library.
No, they can stream it. No, you can stream it. Dude, stream.
Are there
true.
any old like
No, you don't have to rent
Hollywood
anything.
videos or what are those things called?
Family video, like the old like Blockbuster.
Yeah, Blockbuster.
Yeah, that's back in
You
the
think
day.
there's any of those anymore?
I don't know. We should Google it. Not right now though.
Yeah, no.
Okay, give me one more movie.
8 Seconds. It's a bull riding movie.
Oh, I saw that a million years ago.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Like in the 90s.
Yeah, those two are my top 5 probably.
Yeah. Now see, Jaws. Jaws is good.
Jaws.
Jaws is a good movie.
Interesting.
Trying to think of something a little more modern.
What was Jaws? That was in
That 77? 74.
Well, you're creeping up there.
I know, I'm trying.
60s
I'm
and 70s
trying.
movies. Yeah, I don't know anything modern.
Okay, the movie you just saw, even if it was bad, just the most recent movie that you just saw.
It's like I haven't watched a movie in months.
Man, that's crazy.
And I don't even remember what it was. It was actually so like strange that I shut it off. And then I don't even know before that one, the last one was. I watch kids movies now. I have 3 kids.
You have little ones.
Yeah.
I watched a movie this weekend. It's like an independent, like you know Brady Domingo, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a guy was like Brady that got, I don't know if it was in a festival or something, but it's called Primer. It's about these 2 guys in a garage, or no, 4 guys actually, that kind of accidentally invent a time machine, sort of, kind of, but not really. Really interesting and good, but kind of wacky in terms of.
Was the quality okay?
The quality was different. Like it wasn't bad, but it had some conventions in it that were a little weird. Like the actors would talk at the same time, and at first you're really kind of taken aback with it because, like, why are they talking over each other? And then you realize that it's important because what they're saying really isn't important. And then when they slow down and when you really start paying attention, it kind of messed with your mind a little bit. Like you have to really pay attention.
I probably won't watch it.
Yeah, we gotta cut this off.
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up. 30 minutes. We're 10.
I know, it's ridiculous. All right, kids, we're going to come back next year and we're going to try to do 10 episodes. And I want to put this in the episode now because I want to put our feet in the fire. Let's like tell them so that they can be like, Swank and Mentz, come on, you're supposed to do 10
episodes.
Yeah.
Got it. 10 episodes.
Yeah. All right. Take us out.
All right. That's all for today.
Remember, if you're a student at GCHS,
email us a question. Yours might be next.
Thanks for listening.